I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded, yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too, you know. I don't know what it is, but I had a movie called Barbershop.
Did you have to groom her? Did she always have this body? Stand up just a moment, because no one saw you come in standing up. Now, this is what I call a body. Very good, very good. Are you about 5'9", 5'10"?
5'9", and I tried to stay around 120.
When you look at it through today's eyes, when Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body, show us why you're worthy of being here.
We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. The powers to be will no longer be. Denzel Washington, home, Oprah, WB.
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
It's no secret that Oprah Winfrey has attempted to ruin the careers of several individuals by calling Monique, her closest friend at the time, her family on TV, making her appear bad, and demeaning a host of celebrities. Oprah Winfrey has always had a darker side, and now Denzel Washington and Ice Cube are working together to reveal even more details about Oprah. Ice Cube is about to alter all that. Apparently, she has often exploited her position to dominate narratives and preserve her gorgeous image at the cost of others.
So Ice Cube is claiming that he is still banned from Oprah Winfrey's show. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and check this out. So Ice Cube addressed his issues with both Oprah and The View during a sit-down with Tucker Carlson on his new Twitter show on Tuesday, July 25th. Ice Cube has been voicing his issues with Oprah for many years now. In 2006, he told FHM magazine about the aforementioned issue with the cast of Barbershop. For Barbershop, she had Cedric the Entertainer and Eve on, but I wasn't invited. She's had damn rapists, child molesters, and lying authors on her show, and if I'm not a rags to riches story for her, who is? Other rappers have called Winfrey out in the past for being anti-hip-hop, including Ludacris and 50 Cent. In 2020, 50 even admitted in his book Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter that Gayle King once confronted him over the negative comments he's made about Oprah Winfrey over the years. Gayle is the real deal, a very sophisticated, secure, and smart lady. She's never afraid of a situation, so she marched right up to me and basically said, "Why are you talking ish about my girl?" The tenured rapper's past comments about Winfrey include, "Oprah's audience is my audience's parents, so I could care less about Oprah or her show." He also named his dog after the celebrated talk show host. Subsequently, King booked him for an appearance on Winfrey's Oprah's Next Chapter in 2012, and they made peace.
I would see moments where you would discuss your feelings on the culture.
Yeah.
And
on the rap culture, on rap music.
And everything that was wrong with the culture was what was on my CD. And I was like, oh, she doesn't like me.
You talking about the N-word?
All of those things were in element.
Misogynist.
Right. Yeah. Every single one of those things.
Views against women, violence.
And
you know, just things like that.
Those little things. But yeah. Like in that case, I was like, dang, she don't like me. Because I'm looking and there's so many different impressions at different points. And not to say that those things were wrong, but I was saying if I can't be a friend, at least let me be your enemy so I coexist. Oh. You know, and the audience
That's interesting.
I was just using.
Oprah Winfrey is one of the most influential and successful celebrities of our generation. She started off in television and was able to build an empire off of her show. Since becoming famous, Oprah has said and done some questionable things. She understands that she can exploit trauma for profit and use other people to build her brand. Oprah has belittled celebrities and disrespected victims many times in her career. She has also been linked to sketchy people like Harvey Weinstein. And on top of it all, she established a hell-like school in South Africa that is full of scandal. Who really is Oprah Winfrey?
I think it's about a little less than a year ago.
Yeah.
You make a video. Mm-hmm. And I watched the video. I don't even know where you were sitting. Just seemed like you're sitting at a place and you're kind of sharing your frustration. And you posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it goes tens of millions of views, right? And then afterwards, you go and you're like, if mainstream media doesn't want to have me on, I'm going to go and do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you go on Rogan, you go on Tucker, you go all over the place.
Yeah.
All right, you go all over the place and you're kind of talking and you're doing what you're doing.
Hit Bill Maher.
You hit Bill Maher, which was kind of interesting. You've had a Bill Maher situation before where you called him out directly. It wasn't this one.
Yeah.
That was the Bill Maher of, I think, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, you guys had a moment. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The one that you were very cool and you just kind of put him in his place, but in a very respectful way.
Yeah, I called it a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Teachable moment.
Rob, have you seen this or no? If you've not seen this, just see if you can find it. It's actually very entertaining. It's 6 minutes, so we don't need to go through it. I think it's worth for the audience to watch for themselves. But anyways, and I don't know if it's Tucker you're talking to or whoever you're talking to. You said, The View didn't want to have me on. Then you said, even Oprah Winfrey didn't want to have me on. You know, when you're trying to promote your big three, you're trying to build your business and all this other stuff. And at that time, some people are like, well, you know, why don't they want to talk to this guy? Why wouldn't they want to talk to him? And then you say, you give him the, you know, maybe it's not, if you were to maybe put a new song a year ago, my visualization would have been, instead of saying F the police, maybe the title would have been F mainstream media. Right? Let's just say, if you chose to make a comeback. So, at this point of being in this business this long, Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame, you name it, you got all of them, right? Who has the most power in the entertainment industry?
Wow. I mean, it's really hard to say who has the most power. There's some very powerful entities out here, you know. Maybe BlackRock has the most power in Hollywood. Who knows?
You'd say BlackRock. I wouldn't disagree with you there on BlackRock.
Vanguard.
State Street, those guys.
Maybe they have the most power in the entertainment.
You think more than like a Lucian Grange?
Yeah, he's just, you know, he could be fired.
Even Denzel Washington, who is well known for his activism and unwavering commitment to bringing attention to the difficulties the Black community suffers, has often mentioned how Oprah disparages other Black artists. Denzel has addressed this on several instances.
50 Cent pairs up with Denzel Washington to expose Oprah taking from Black actresses. All right, let's check it out. Let's see what this takes us, guys. Let's get it.
I'm just tired of working so hard.
Okay.
Being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't mathing.
The man, they offered me $600,000. He said, I'm not gonna tell you that, Denzel. He says, but I can tell you this. The first 2 or 3 or 4 films you do in this business will dictate how you're perceived.
There's always a new drama in Hollywood every day. And this time, it isn't just any drama going on in Hollywood. There have always been numerous conspiracies against the renowned American Black host Oprah Winfrey. However, recently, 50 Cent has paired up with Denzel Washington to expose Oprah for her exploitation of other Black actresses. 50 Cent has recently joined the conversation in the middle of the dispute between Taraji and Oprah. He's criticizing Oprah for being a Hollywood puppet and taking advantage of Black actors. This isn't new for 50 Cent. He's been calling out Oprah for years. He accused her of using Black actors to build a billion-dollar empire and then eventually abandoning them. He was among the first to support Monique when she spoke out against Oprah and Tyler Perry for ruining her career by underpaying her for her role in Precious.
So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film. Okay. Because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million.
All right, so really quickly, guys, we got to interject here. When it comes to the movie Precious was great. I definitely think that Monique played the part of Precious's mother so well that it completely destroyed her career going forward. I think that honestly was the reason why she just kind of went ghost for a very long time after that, guys. And when it comes to Taraji P. Henson, I do think that if she's playing lead and she's making a lot less, then that's obviously an issue. If she's a second or tertiary actress, I don't know if she should be getting as much as the lead actress. or actor, I guess. But let's see.
And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler.
Now, 50 Cent is once again backing Taraji in her fight against Oprah and the other black actors whose careers Oprah allegedly harmed for her own benefit.
What do you make of all the fake news and it affects
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
What do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
How do you feel about roles available today for African American males in the movie industry versus 20 years back when you started?
It's much better now. It's much better now. I was, there were no roles like this. You know, I did well, I don't want to talk about other films or other filmmakers, but I've been in the game, whatever it is, 35, 40 years. It obviously wasn't like that when I started, if you got a role at all. Which is why I thought I'd just be doing theater the rest of my life. I really didn't aspire to be a quote-unquote movie star because I didn't see anybody that looked like me anyway. So I didn't tell jokes, and I wasn't going to be that third, what's the name, from the back. So I got too much ego for that. So I just said, well, I'll do theater. But it is much better.
What came first? That's a great question, Jacqueline. People like Spike pushing the envelope, getting their films funded, going out, long before that. Gordon, let's talk to the historian, man. Who are we talking about?
Come on. I'm talking about Steve, because Steve knows.
What are we talking?
I'm talking about I'm talking about from Stephen Fetchit to Eddie Rochester. Everybody did what they had to do, and they laid the groundwork. We can name them: Gloria Foster, Hattie McDaniel, James Edwards. Who was James Edwards was before Sidney. Paul Robeson. You know, they laid the groundwork for us.
But saying creating roles the way.
If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. So you got to write it.
Okay.
You can't sit back afterwards and go, well, it's his fault because I ain't got it. Well, did you know anybody that's writing what you say? August Wilson is writing how we feel. That's why I'm producing all 10 of them. Because of all those people who laid the groundwork for me to be in the position I'm in, I'm going to make sure that there's hundreds of roles for the next generation and utilize the power that I have at this moment in order to do that. And nobody's going to get in my way.
You know, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities. Do you think we've made any headway?
I think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds. I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. Google Lil Yummy. Lil Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer, and he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old. Wow. Who's doing life now, a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List. Mm-hmm. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List. But they're cultural differences. I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference. So it's the culture.
Oprah Winfrey and Diddy are also connected in an odd way. It is believed that Oprah and Diddy are responsible for the unexplained death of the TikToker who used to expose them both, and this conspiracy theory was already gaining attention. Ice Cube's that startled a revelation has further complicated matters.
Diddy, you're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
Yeah, he produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for. You've been to one, you've been to them all.
Are you surprised at what things are coming out with Diddy at all? Or you like, you have no idea, it's none of my business, you'll live longer? Is that kind of like the mindset?
I'm surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? It's hip hop is the Wild West. So you're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
You think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this stuff, just domino effect happen.
Okay, all right. So, you think he's being targeted? So you don't think, Suge said, you can say what you want about Diddy, but Diddy didn't learn to like young boys. He learned it from a man named Clive Davis. He threw Clive Davis in there. It doesn't sound like you're part of that camp. You're part of the camp that you think he's being targeted.
I don't know enough to even be able to be specific on any of this stuff. It's just all speculation. I just know he was cool up until a point, and then this stuff started happening. So I believe somebody, like I said, yo, he's our new guy. We on this year or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's crazy, man. But why haven't any of Diddy friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party, to the after party, and to the hotel lobby, they not gonna ruin their brand. They not gonna say nothing. Man, I was watching the other day. Listen to me. They did that. They on Channel 2 News here in New York. Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about. They showed him beating Cassie, and they showed him the apology in the whole 9 yards. All they said is that we have commentary about that, but we got to go to a commercial. They never came back and said nothing about it. I was like, yo, damn, he still got power like that? somebody still like him like that? Because you know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nobody haven't came out to support him, man. Not one person outside of Stevie J.
Stevie don't count, bro.
And so, yeah, I mean, obviously she covers a lot of ground here and is somebody who is exposing, or at the very least, like, is very tied in to celebrity culture. And we know that because it's really interesting. Movie stars like Julia Fox, star of Uncut Gems, saying, I know I never met Kylie in real life, but I felt like I knew her. So devastated, have been crying ever since the news leaked on TikTok. I will miss her deeply. Bunny XO, country music star Jelly Roll's wife, commented on Kylie's last TikTok, I am so sad. There are other TikTokers that are following up. So like celebrities and celebrity culture, like I like to obviously know her and talk to her and watch her. Did she cross too many powerful people, right? Is the question that many are asking right now.
Did she talk about Epstein?
So Kylie Marissa Roth, famous TikToker, has been found dead with no cause of death given. She recently uploaded videos exposing Oprah and Diddy. The family is unsure about what caused her death. Last week, leading up to her passing, she was having issues with her account, with over 700,000 followers being banned. So again, a lot of people are saying, like, what's going on here? Very, very, very odd. And a lot of those people are asking, did this have something to do with the exposing of Diddy? She has a lot, based on our review of her channel, she has a lot of focus on the Diddy story, and for good reason. I mean, obviously, right? Like, for good reason. There are cameras, hidden cameras found all over Diddy's house.
Yeah.
Like when the feds raided the house, you know, the house looked like this. That's on the inside. They ripped up everything looking for electronics. You can see the footage of the feds carrying out electronics, computers, hard drives from the house. Surely Diddy recorded somebody who he shouldn't have in his freakout parties, right?
That's what we were saying.
Got either a politician or somebody famous, somebody who could like call in a federal raid like this. And that's what happened to this guy. Look at this. Look at the servers, the safes cracked open, and the electronics strewn about. That's what the feds were after here. So what are people who knew Diddy saying about all of this? Various rappers are saying, yeah, we knew what you were doing. You had a hard drive with all of these tapes on them, and you were trying to hide them, right? Check it out.
But he needed to build a spot over there in Valley for his boy Puffy. Cause Puffy I warn Keefy D to take his ass over there. There's no extradition laws over there. So I'm warning you now, Puffy. Take your ass over there. Reggie prediction. I know Puffy is smart enough, and he probably done already cleaned his houses. But sexual predators, what do they do? And we'd be like, damn, why? They treat their sex tapes like, yeah, remember that song, Me and My Girlfriend, that Pac did?
Why he sound like this?
You know what he was talking about? What was Pac talking about, y'all? And that. Do y'all really know what he was talking about? For those of y'all know what he's talking about, he was talking about a gun, but
yeah,
sexual predators is what hold on to their tapes. And cops know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some storages.
That is very, very true. Especially when you watch those movies and it's like a trophy. You know, you see it has all these people names on them. But like I said, I'm leaning more towards, you know, him having some type of evidence on some really, really, really big names, because they said everybody used to be at those parties. So it could be a combination of both, you know, a combination. I wouldn't doubt it.
Or some of Puffy properties be getting raided real soon.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because lo and behold, just a few short weeks ago, we saw the government agents raiding Puffy's properties and seizing tapes, hard drives, computers, laptops, and various data centers from them, along with, of course, arresting his direct family members, or at the very least placing them under arrest by putting them in handcuffs and bringing them out of the house like this. So does this have anything to do with the death of this TikToker who has been exposing sort of this cover up here, right? You can see like in video after video after video, this expose about Diddy and what's actually happening. And some of these videos getting millions and millions of views. Did you get a little too close to the truth here? We're not exactly certain, but we do know what Jesse Waters was able to uncover about Diddy and about his freak out parties and what they were really about. This is why they're calling him the Jeffrey Epstein of the music industry.
In the comments section below, please share your thoughts on whether Oprah Winfrey's career is finally coming to an end. If you liked the video, please click the subscribe button to ensure that you don't miss any more. And until then, family, keep it real for